I got to the top 100 rank and it was primarily using YUUMI. I played 2 games of YUUMI and won both of them. And it was just so disgusting that I need to show you guys the power of this team composition. So I was just doing my normal tier start. I'm just picking up the basic gadgetines as I always do. And then you know what? Maybe I go for underground with the Kale and the Ezreal. After seeing my augments, the only takeable one right now is calculated loss because all the buildable items I have are pretty garbage and I don't have any upgraded 2-stars. So that doesn't really matter because calculated loss means we could start off the game pretty well and we could pretty much flex into anything. So we get the loss, we get the bonus gold. I see a YUUMI, I pick it up. I see a Lee Sin. I think I also pick it up because I'm like, you know what? Maybe YUUMI is in the cards and I also just kind of buy everything whenever I do these calculated loss rolls, but we don't really see anything quite yet. We lose the next round too. We see a Malphite, a Lee Sin, and then here's where I'm thinking like, can we actually do the supers build? I do one more reroll. I do hit the Talon. I was trying to go for like a Talon reroll game, and then I see another YUUMI, and I was like, wait a minute, YUUMI's like kind of in the meta right now, so let me go ahead and just try it out after I sell a bunch of people. I also sell the Talon and the Sylas that I held so closely before because right now I'm just thinking, wait a minute, we could just do the YUUMI comp. We have a Negatron cloak, so we could build Ionic Spark. We have a tier to build blue buff. And then the glove can be used for something like Jeweled Gauntlet, Hand of Justice, or literally just like a Thieves Gloves on a random 3-star unit that we get. I noticed that the most important thing about this build is just hitting the comp. The items don't really matter that much. On the carousel, I was deciding between Ionic Spark and the blue buff. Probably should have taken blue buff, but we got the Ionic Spark here. I've realized that tier is probably the most important item because you really want a redemption if you can get enough of them. But we see another shop here. We get Lee Sin 2 for free. Let's build the Ionic and just jam it. The thing is you could use a lot of rods in this build too because you could go for Death Cap, you could go for obviously the Spark, and just any AP item is really good on YUUMI. We lose again though, of course, and then we just do our free roll. Nothing in this first shop, so we could just go ahead and skip that. And then in the second shop, we see another Lee Sin. I kind of forgot what goes on in this comp, so what I do, and what I think you guys should do as well, is you can just alt-tab out, go on to BunnyMuffins LOL, go to the meta snapshot, and then click on whatever comp you're going. I'm going for the YUUMI comp right now, just to get like a quick refresher on what's going on with the build. I'm not lying when I say this. The people that caught this game on my live stream definitely saw that I just did write that because like I don't really play YUUMI that much since she got nerfed. Obviously, I know what's going on in the comp. I kind of know what units go in, but just like, for example, in this game, I sold the Nyla early. Probably should have kept her, you know? But we get a good 5 loss streak. This is pretty much how you want the game to play out. I should be able to beat this just because we have a 2-star Lee Sin, 2-star Gangplank. And then we end up getting 1 chain and then 2 chains right after that. And then we also get 1 more rod. So items pretty decent, you know. I'm going to hold off on slamming the Jeweled Gauntlet just in case we get Predatory Precision. But here you should just be slamming the Bramble Vest right away. Most guides will say like build a Sunfire Cape, and I agree as well. I think on the website it says to build a Sunfire Cape also. However, since we have the 2 chains already right there and handy, we'll have 4 components on our bench. You need to build one. And also, like, let's say I do build a Sunfire, what's the other chain going to turn into? There aren't really that many items. Maybe like a Protector's Vow, maybe a Gargoyle Stone Plate, but they're nothing that are like that great to kind of hold out for. So that's why you just slam the Bramble in a lot of cases here. It's always good to know when to build the best in slot items and kind of when to just give up on them. Now you might be wondering like, when is that going to be? Well, on the meta snapshot, we do point out which items are 100% required in the requirements section. And if it's not there, you don't like absolutely need it. So these augments here kind of suck for the build. I'm guessing Woodland Charm might be the best one to take here, but I just decided to re-roll it because why is spending completely useless? And then we get 2 very good options here. Actually, all 3 of these are pretty good. Preparation's probably the best one. Celestial Blessing 3, really good. And what was the other one? Band of Thieves. Band of Thieves is good because we get a lot of 3-stars, so you could just have a lot of Thieves Glove value. The reason why I don't take the Band of Thieves right now, though, is because, well, look at our board. We don't have a single 3-star, so it's not that worth it yet. But we slam the Jeweled Gauntlet, we add the tier onto YUUMI, and then we're pretty much just in business here. We want to get a blue buff off this carousel, and then after that, it's pretty much smooth sailing. Maybe 1 more tank item for our Nyla. Maybe we should get a Nyla first. It's probably because I sold the first Nyla, it like cursed it for myself, right? But win or lose this round, I think we want to lose this round. So it's actually good that we end up dropping here. Actually, Okay, so we do end up losing this round. It was just very close. But yeah, we're on a loss streak, so we just get bonus gold and the calculated loss value. We get a Malphite here. Nothing else in the shop, so we roll. Nyla, finally, she came back. So sell that Jax, put the items on Nyla. We also got Rel. I forgot Rel was in the comp. Did we skip her? I don't think so. I don't know. But we do get the Nyla, and with that, we get the 3-star Guardian, which kind of enables our Yuumi to cast a bit more. This current opponent is going for the Samira build. He's got pretty good items for that already. Also Cluttered Mind, so lots of XP to get there. But overall, like, look at the team. It's not doing so badly. We're kind of cleaning up. The Nyla was a pretty big power spike because she enables our team to just get a lot more resilient because it's really built around her. Now that I see this carousel, I kind of remembered why I skipped out on the tier before. I think this game, not many people were going for AP comps, so I thought the Rod would be more contested than the tier. Also, I mean to clarify, whenever I say AP comps, I mean like the caster build, something like a mage, like Soraka and like Talia, for example. I know Viego is also AP, and there are a bunch of other ones too, but when I say AP, that's mainly what I'm talking about. Because when I talk of Viego, I'm speaking more of like Renegades, for example. But yeah, we get the blue buff. Our team's looking pretty solid. We did a roll down. Didn't hit that much, but, you know, good enough because we do have the preparation kind of stacking. It's prismatic preparation, so you really got to stack everything fully. I probably made a mistake here and there. Sometimes you could switch out the guys that have been stacking on your bench for the people on your board. I believe some people pointed that out as I was playing. But, like, it's not the end of the world. As long as you get them 3-star, that's really what you take preparation for. 3-star and, like, full stack, that's really what you're after. Like, obviously, you want to get as many preparation stacks as possible on your board, but don't, like, grief your game because of it, if that makes sense. But yeah, just going through the motions, doing the roll down here. We get a GP2. Like, I should swap this GP probably, right? Because it's slightly stronger, let the other one stack. But you don't really need to, like, stress about it that much. Like, you should also stack on the neutral rounds, which we'll see in just a moment. But we're facing a guy with, oh, Think Fast. This is his Think Fast board. Okay, this guy is going 8th place. You know, I'm watching the replay now. I didn't even realize this guy had Think Fast. That's how weak his team is. So I feel a little bad. I guess they have a lot of health, but we'll see what place this guy ends up getting. Holy cow, that's a Think Fast board. There's no way. There's no way. But yeah, just do another quick round of roll downs. And then right after that, I'm going to start stacking because I want like the free neutral round stack, you know? So we're going to drop our Nyla in. We're going to drop our Yuumi out. And then we'll pretty much go from there. For some reason, I decided to do one more roll for fun, and then we go like below the gold threshold. But you know, it's all good. But yeah, no items. You generally always beat Wolf Camp, so stacking on this round is probably okay. The only risky round is maybe Krugs. But another glove, not that great. Negatron, not that great as well. So I just realized I didn't finish my story from before. But whenever you play this comp, you should always be wary about when to all in. And I griefed a little bit here. I should have sold maybe... Oh, there we go. Maybe I sold correctly. But whenever you're like 1 or 2 off a unit, you want to just roll down for them to spike. But I probably should not have given up on the Gangplank. Also, after hitting that Yuumi 2, I should have stopped rolling. I thought I wasn't stable because I don't have Nyla 2. But I've realized that with this comp, if you have like Yuumi 2, Nyla 2, or Yuumi 3, Nyla 1... it's like kind of the same power level, so you don't really have to dig as deep as I did here. Like after you hit the Yuumi 3, just like chill. Or if you like hit Nyla 3 maybe, or Nyla 2, sorry, just chill also. And I was debating slamming the Quicksilver Sash here because the reason why this comp is so strong, well, not actually the reason why, but yeah, there's only one choice here. It's the gifted Nyla one. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad that it's a 3/3/3 augment because 1, it gives us Nyla 2, like you saw here. And 2, I don't want people getting 4 cost augments because that means they get stronger. And here I am switching the preparation people. Back to the story about why I wanted to play this comp. I just realized we're 10 minutes in and I haven't told it yet. But I was watching streams like last week and I was watching Kuramax and he's rank 1 right now. But at the time, I think he was like rank 10 or something like that. I don't remember. But he was playing the Yuumi reroll comp and he had the worst items possible. But look at this nonsense. The bottom game's the one I watched. He had Hextech Gunblade, Spear of Shojin, Edge of Night on his Yuumi. The top one, he has Spear of Shojin, Static Shiv, and Rabadon's Deathcap. He also has a Zeke's on his Nyla. So after seeing these examples, I came to the conclusion that you just need to hit the comp It doesn't matter what items you have. You just need to hit everything 3-star and you're all good. So if you have like one econ augment like I do here, it's pretty much guaranteed to hit them as long as you're uncontested. So that's just what I set out to do. He got second place with the Edge of Night game, and he got third place with the Zeke's Herald on his Nyla. Like, if that doesn't show you how stupid this composition is, nothing will. That's also why I debated slamming the Quicksilver on my YUUMI, because it's actually not that bad of an item. I ended up holding out. I should have gotten the Thieves Gloves here. I should have got the other glove. After that, I should just get a Nyla item. So either Chain Vest for Titan's Resolve, not Titan's Resolve, for the Stone Plate, or just go Dragon Claw. Probably Dragon Claw was a play here. I don't remember how much AP there was. Actually, looking around, there's a lot of AD comp, so never mind. It is not Dragon Claw. So I should have just gotten the glove to build Thieves Gloves on someone, but we end up just building the Shroud here. But Quicksilver's not a bad item on YUUMI. It gives you critical strike chance, and we have a jeweled gauntlet, so it gives you more damage. It gives her more attack speed so that she could cast faster, and it also makes her CC immune, which against Urgot's kind of how you beat this composition because they're on the middle. Sejuani's another way to do it. And you get more value right away from your items, so it probably would have been worth it just to slam it on stage 4-1. Granted, we won all the other rounds. However, maybe I could hit people for more health, and in which case the game ends faster. And that would be a very good sign for me because people have just less health, you know? But all in all, like, I waited a little bit. I guess it doesn't matter that much, but I would have preferred to just slam it. If Edge of Night can get second place, and I remember the team he faced, it was a completely like capped out team, then Quicksilver is more than enough, you know? But yeah, hit the Lee Sin 3, pretty good. Just going to wait till the next round now. Let's see what this person's playing. I guess he's Belveth carry. Oh, it's a Think Fast guy again. Yeah, it's just really not that great of a board. I guess he didn't go 8th because he had a lot of HP. But I feel a little bad because, wow. I still can't believe that was his board afterwards. If his board was what it is right now, then I'd believe it, but it's not. We're like 1.5 stages past that. But yeah, we're doing pretty chilling here. We're waiting for the other 3 stars, and we're probably going to all in on stage 5-1. I say this with every reroll comp. You always have to figure out when you want to all in. But we're just going to do the general rolls right now, and we're not actually hitting that much. I rolled a ton, and I get like 1 Malphite and 1 Gangplank in like so much gold. Holy cow. And also you want to pick up Riven as like the next unit in. She gives you Brawler and Defender, so you can't really get more synergies in that. Here it's just the Ice Cream Cone because we could get a better item for YUUMI later. But yeah, we should just roll all the way down right now. I should keep the Nyla, sell the Riven. There's the Rel. Probably sell the GP, or I guess the Nyla. Yeah, that's fair. I remember a lot of people were going Nyla this game, so as much as I want her, it's going to be hard to 3-star her. And then you just Ice Cream Cone, doesn't really matter who. I did the Gangplank this game, but it could literally be anyone. And then now we should have rolled to like maybe 30 or something, or just all the way down to hit Malphite or Gangplank and then Nico the other one, then power level up, because there's really not much else to do here. You just want to spike right away because we're at 30 life, and just so we don't die. But look at this. Our YUUMI dies to the Belveth. I know we're fighting a ghost and everything, but we still win the fight, you know? Isn't that crazy? Like, even in the games where your main carry gets sniped, you still win. Like, that's how stupid this comp is, because there are a lot of other people who do like a little bit of work as well. But we hit the Malphite, and then I should level up, roll down for Riven, and that's what I'm doing now. Do I get it? If you hit the Gangplank, great. If not, no worries. But I'm really just trying to get that Riven, but I don't end up getting it. So we get the Gangplank, so I guess it's fine. We could save the Nico for someone else. Maybe I could use it on a legendary unit. But yeah, it's either Riven or a legendary unit as the extra slot. I added in a Vel'Koz right now. Why not? It CCs their carry for a little bit. So if their carry doesn't die to YUUMI, maybe they get stunned for like a few more seconds. That Rammus is a little scary. This is why you want Redemption. It reduces the AoE damage to your team. And since you're all grouped up in the front, it really does help a lot. The issue is that you just need the tiers for blue buff. And blue buff is a ton better than Spirit Shojin. Like Spirit Shojin, it's perfectly playable, obviously, but you'd much rather have the blue buff. So if I had the choice between blue buff and no redemption and Spirit Shojin with a redemption, I'd probably just take the blue buff. But obviously, if you could get 3 tiers, then yeah, build the redemption. But we're able to beat this guy. Like Samira too, he's got nothing on us. This is a cluttered mind guy too, so he's been like stacking up fast XP, and yeah, we're able to beat him anyways. This carousel's a little tricky. I want the redemption, but that gets taken. So after that, it's probably just the Protector's Vow for our Nyla, but I end up going for Hand of Justice to heal up on Yumi. Honorable mention to the second Chalice, because that would have been good too. I guess since I don't have a 3-star Nyla yet, it's not worth it to give her a third item. So yeah, I guess Hand of Justice was the best choice here. Or maybe Ice Cream Cone was, because it buffs up other people. But look at this again. My Belveth, or his Belveth, snipes my Yumi again, and then we just beat him anyways. And this was not a ghost this time. This was the actual player. And how stupid is that? Like, again, we mispositioned because we had our weaker tanks on the right side, and his Belveth was on the right side, so she ate through them and then started attacking our Yumi. Normally, when you second row your carry and you get punished like that, you lose the fight and you lose like 20 HP. But we just win it anyways. It doesn't even affect us because there's so many different carries in this comp. I mean, this fight again, his Zed is on our Yumi. She somehow lives a little bit, and then she eventually does die, but like so many other people are doing work. You look on the damage chart, like our 2-star Nyla is actually cranking. I'm pretty sure once you get Nyla 3 with this comp, the other team has to have some crazy like legendary stuff in order to actually beat you. But we finally get Riven. We're going to drop her in. I guess we already had her. Just add in the Acel, why not? Acel gives us anti-heal. We don't have the Sunfire this game, so it's pretty decent. But if we get other legendaries such as Urgot, maybe we play them over the Acel. I don't actually know. So normally you do play Urgot over Acel, but in this specific game, I opted to go for the Acel because I did not have anti-heal. The question is, do I need anti-heal? That's going to depend on your game. So just because I do something doesn't mean you should do something too. Here it's just Titan's Resolve. I need a third item on my Nyla. This is one of the better ones. And we're against a Duelist guy again. Or the Belveth guy again. Does the Belveth end up destroying my Yumi again? Doesn't look like it because we have Rel on the correct side now, and she tanked a ton. So we just obliterate this fight, I guess. So we're in top 2 now. Our Ghost is not able to beat the other person. That's the Cluttered Mind guy with the Urgot 2 really early that we beat before. But I think we just need to win 2 rounds, and then we're good to go. We're going to roll down. Don't really hit that much. I guess we get the Riven. I'm just going to position my Shroud a little bit, not really going to care too much about the other stuff. Third row Yumi, second row Yumi, I don't know if it matters that much. I think I want to just dodge his Urgot, so I end up doing something a little goofy in the next rounds because I forgot what happens here. I think we actually lose this round, sorry for the spoiler. But yeah, Acel does pop off, and then I feel like we got CC'd a little too much. And we also may have gotten unlucky on the Yumi hits because she never went for Samira. And it kept getting blocked. So we do end up losing that round. If we had better targeting, we probably just win that. But we have a little trick up our sleeve. So let's do a quick roll down. There's the other Nyla. Don't quite get the Nyla 3, but it's all good. I think sell the Acels now because he has Janna. So I know I wanted the anti-heal before, like I was talking about. However, Urgot is really good when they stack up in one area because he's AoE ultimate. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, we hit the Nyla 3, so I have to sell him. Or her. No, Urgot's a him. I have to sell him, and then I end up moving my Yumi to the top left because I just want to dodge Urgot and just don't even care about the Chalice value. Don't even care about, I don't have redemption, but if I did have redemption, I would not get redemption value here. But on this side, we just dodge all the CCs, and Yumi's just able to go to town here and be relatively safe. Nyla 3 also helps, so maybe the positioning doesn't matter at all, and it's just a Nyla 3 difference. On the carousel, I just go for the redemption, and pretty much just call it a day from there. I'm probably going to do the same thing. I dropped the redemption on my Lee, but I'm just going to be scouting, make sure my Shroud's in front of his Janna, and then probably just going to do the same Yumi thing again. You have to be a little careful. You don't want her completely alone, because maybe then the Leona just goes on her if you put Leona all the way to the left. So it is a little risky sometimes, but overall, we dodge the fiddle. Look at this guy's team. 2-star Mordekaiser. By the way, he has hat blue buff from Thieves' Gloves on his Mordekaiser. Absolutely nuts. But 2-star Mordekaiser, 2-star Urgot, 2-star Fiddlesticks, 2-star Samira. I get it. I have 3 stars of other things, but he's got his team's full legendary pretty much. And he's been farming Urgot items the entire game because he's been early Urgot 2. And we just beat him. So his team is actually super, super, super strong. And the Yumi comp just like obliterates it, which is crazy, right? Wow. I could not believe this after I played this game. I was like, it's not just that Kurum game that I saw, it's just completely bonkers in general. But look at this. He has 26 item components compared to my 18. Not to mention the extra level he has, and I forgot, he also has Aphelios 2 and Janna 2 also. So his full team's legendary, and it just wiped through him. But this next game, we do a tier start again. Actually, did we tier start last game? I forget, but I like tier start. I wanted to do it for Soraka, Talia, things like that. We get a jeweled gauntlet, so I'm already thinking like, holy cow, we got such a good start, and we have underground. But then I see predatory precision, and I'm like, you know what? We could just do another Yumi game. So I click it, I ping myself just so no one else tries to go Yumi, and then, or if they do, they have to know that they're contested. So if they do it, like that's on them. It griefs me as well, but you know what? It's okay. I feel like more often than not, you'll find other people like skip out on the augment because you ping yourself. But you know, your experiences may differ from mine, but if people want to win, that's probably what they should be doing. One important thing, do not build the jeweled gauntlet on your Yumi when you have predatory precision, because you already get a lot of crit. Also here, I'm going to sell up to 10 gold because none of the other units were that important for me. So I'm just going to go for the extra interest. Also, this game, we are going to be contested a little bit, but it's mainly because we have the supers that are contested, not so much the Yumi. But this fight's taking pretty long. It's really close. Actually, a nail biter. I don't remember who wins this. Oh, wait. I think we actually ended up winning this because that Lee Sin shield on overtime actually did a lot of work. So we just sell the Kale, and then we're good to go from there. Like, yeah, we might miss out on potential undergrounds, but I feel like the extra gold's just completely worth it. We also get a Gangplank here, so we're pretty golden. I do decide to level up here. Not sure if it's a mistake or not. We don't have any items to slam, but I felt like everyone else in the game was also pretty weak. And since I won the first one, I was like, maybe we face like some of the weak people. This guy is pretty weak, but since he has an item and we don't, we do end up losing, which is a little unfortunate. I probably should have put the tier on my Yumi. We may have been able to win if I did. And if I put like a rod on the Galio, that might also make a difference, as you guys will see in a minute. But like we could have killed like a couple more units and like that Blitzcrank and probably saved 2 HP there. Overall, though, I'm hoping that... Oh, there's a rel there. But overall, I'm hoping that this game shows you how to play the comp with like the combat augment, which is the Yumi predatory precision right now, versus the econ augment that we had last game. Each one kind of has its own strengths and weaknesses. Like, yeah, you want a guarantee on hitting everything, but you don't want like too much econ augments. If not, your team's a little too weak. So you always got to kind of balance, mix and match the two. We also got preparation last game, which is probably the best reroll augment. Like, there's no doubt about that, apart from like featherweights or something like that. But we're able to see what I mean. If we slam the tier here, maybe we would have killed this extra Kale or something like that. So that's potentially 4 HP that we missed out on. Let's grab the blue buff here though. But yeah, it's either level up and then slam components, or just don't level up and have more gold. Either or works. We end up getting a god shop here, double Malphite and Nyla. Like, holy cow. You can't really ask for much more than that. Blue buff on the Yumi, and we are good. Whether we lose streak completely or like win, lose, I don't think it matters that much. Like, obviously, we'd prefer to lose the next 2 rounds. Another argument for leveling up is that you do want higher odds on more expensive units because we're playing for 2-cost units. We're not really playing for any 1-cost apart from Gangplank. So that's another reason to level up. I'm not a Yumi expert by any means, which just goes to show how stupid this comp is. Another thing is, I don't really know the best positioning for everything. I know one person who does, so I'm going to go ahead and ask him later on just to see like exactly when you want to be directly in the middle, when you want to be slightly to the left, when you want to be slightly to the right, when you want your Yumi in the 2nd row or 3rd row. But we noticed last game, I kind of just moved around randomly. There wasn't really that much purpose of it. I know you want your stronger tanks on the same side as their strongest damage dealer, but I'm assuming everyone already knows that that should be the case. But I'm always trying to think of like more advanced ways to do things. And right now, apart from just like dodging AoE abilities like we kind of tried to do last game, again, we might not have even needed to because we hit Nyla 3 and Nyla 3 is an absolute beast. But it's always curious to know these things. We get a bow and a rod. So that is a little awkward because we do want the Ionic Spark, but we have to build the hat right now for value. Nothing much too interesting in this shop. What you want to do with this build, we didn't really have to do it last game because we got so many, we had calculated loss to kind of carry us through the early game, but you want to stabilize on stage 3 too. That's a very important thing to do. So next turn, we're probably going to level up and then roll down a little bit. I do make a grave mistake, as you're about to see. It's completely by accident, not on purpose at all, but you'll see in just a moment. So we have to pick our augment first. We want stuff like maybe a healing item because we have a lot of damage. We want maybe like the reroll usual suspects such as like featherweights, preparation, trade sector like we see here. Think fast is another one. It's arguable that you should go for a component grab bag because we have 2 unused components that are like kind of iffy, but getting the 3 stars is just so important that I go for trade sector instead. And as you guys saw last game, like you want the 3 stars. It just, once you hit it, nothing else matters. And I don't know if you guys noticed the mistake yet. I forgot to level up before I started rolling, so that's really, really bad because I'm literally only rolling for a YUUMI 2. I probably should have stopped at 30 gold, but I only really hit 2 upgrades in that roll down. Possibly it's because I didn't level up. So let's say I did level up. Maybe I hit like Nyla 2 or something like that. I might still have YUUMI 1 because sometimes you still get unlucky, but I probably should have hit 1 more upgrade, you know? But my bad on the mistake, you know, it happens sometimes. But it's not going to make like that much of a difference. It probably costed us maybe, we rolled down what, like 20, 30, 40 gold or something like that. So no, not that much. We probably rolled like 16 gold or something like that. Maybe we had 8 rolls. So slightly worse odds on 8 rolls. I probably lost like 2 to 4 gold or something like that. I don't know the exact math, but someone can do it if they want. But obviously in your games, like level up to level 6 before you do this, right? So here's a very awkward spot because I had 4 pairs, so that's why I do those extra rolls down. You don't want to be this low in gold, but we do have trade sector. So we kind of get 2 free gold every single round anyway. So being a little lower in gold isn't like the end of the world, even though you'd much rather have like 50 gold all the time, especially if you're re-rolling. But since we had so many pairs, it's really worth it to roll. Like even now, it still might be arguable to roll because we are missing a lot of units. But like our 2 key ones are Nyla and YUUMI, and they're both 1 star, right? And we also have a Gangplank 1 on our bench. It's very reasonable to just roll more here, like maybe down to 10 on this turn. Let's see what we get on the carousel. We want probably to finish off some of these items. Hand of Justice is decent. Thieves Gloves, decent. Honestly, they're like Chain Vest probably is the best pick here. I end up going for the tier, I believe, but I think Chain Vest is better. Titans is just a really good item on Nyla, and I have a Nyla 2 already, so I just want to build for her, you know? Or Thieves Glove is good for like the Malphite or the Lee Sin. I end up building Static Shiv. I was going to drop it on YUUMI, but then I was like, what am I doing with my life? I completely built the wrong item there. We have 2 items for YUUMI. We needed an item for Nyla. So building the Static Shiv is just a completely big mistake. I end up dropping it on Nyla. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. It ends out working out, as you'll see in just a bit. Like, you'll find out why. But yeah, it probably should have been on YUUMI or just build a Hand of Justice on YUUMI. I guess I have an item remover, so I could use that to just like jam items on random people too. Pretty decent shops. But since we have Nyla 2 and Rel 2 already, or Nyla 2 and YUUMI 2, we don't really need to roll that much more. And here's the guy that's kind of contesting us, because he's going for Super Draven, so he's going to be taking a lot of the super units, so it's going to be hard to get Malphite and Lee Sin 3, which is fine, but you have to recognize that in your game. I actually did not realize that until the end of the game, or not end of the game, but maybe at like stage 5 I noticed it, which was way too late. I don't know why I was kind of asleep at the wheel. Like, this game was kind of played horribly, but we get another YUUMI there, so it's pretty good. But then disaster happens. We get a belt, bow, and sword off of the wolf camp. And that's what I mean. Because we put the Static Shiv on our Nyla, it actually works out because we get to put a Giant Slayer on our YUUMI, which is a perfectly good item for her. It's just really awkward again because we got too many damage items this game. You can only put 3 on the YUUMI, so it's like we kind of have 4 right now, 5 if you want to count Guard Breaker. So it's just like we really needed the Titans Resolve on the last carousel. Like, that's the last time I'll try to mention it. This guy's got double redemption. I wish we could have had one of those redemptions because redemption is extremely good in this comp. But he's also got Acel 2, but set 1's kind of a joke, so I think we end up beating this person. Yeah, and we have the Giant Slayer to kind of beat his upgrades, which is a little ironic. But yeah, we're in a very decent spot right now. I would prefer more copies of everything, because we're not really close to any of the 3-stars. But since we have Trade Sector, I'm not sweating that much. This augment selection is really easy. It's just Battle Mage. Like, it can't be Exiles. Second Wind is good, but like, I'm already all in the front row. If it's not Battle Mage now, Battle Mage is just a horrible augment, but it's a good augment. So in the situations where it's good, it is going to be excellent. So roll down to 50. We get the YUUMI Gangplank and the Lee Sin, but we do not want to all in yet because we're just too far away. You might be wondering, like, when is a good time to all in? Probably when you have like 7 copies of everything, like you all in, or like 6 copies of everything and low health. But if you're high health, like probably 7 copies of everything and you're good to go from there. It just increases the chances. Like, there's probably some combined number where it's optimal because obviously you don't get like a perfect even 777 of every unit that you want. But there are 6 units that we want to 3-star. 5 of them, I'm not going to count Nyla right now because she's a little more expensive. So realistically 5 of them. So that means you need 5 times 9 copies. That's 45 copies. So maybe if you have around 7 times 5 is 35. So around 35 copies of everything, do an all in. Maybe that's like a good marker, maybe like 30 to 36. It obviously depends on your health because we're at 63. We're at a very healthy state. And I don't know if you noticed the other games, but we were very low life. So we're much like more stable this time. We don't have to like risk it. And also we have Trade Sector, so we could kind of take it easy. We don't really need to hit everything right away. That Rammus and Fiddlesticks absolutely CC'd our whole team and destroyed us. And this guy's got a D-Claw, so we end up probably losing this fight. If we had Redemption, it definitely helps a lot. If we have like Sunfire Cape, it reduces the healing on his vibe, but we don't always get that every game, but we'll find out that you don't really need it. We have a belt and a glove, so we could finish the Sunfire that we were talking about. One of the chains gets taken. It's arguable to take the Malphite because he helps get another copy of Malphite, but I think Redemption's just like a better item than the Sunfire Cape. Like, we're really susceptible to AoEs, so it's just like the best item to counter it. I make a slight mistake here. I should have held on to the Rels and sold the Gangplanks. I realized that after the fact, but the reason why you want to do that is because it's easier to hit the Rel 3 than the GP 3. But I was really greedy. I was thinking like, oh, because GP's harder to hit, I should hold on to him because it's harder to get the copies of it. But you should just try to power spike and get as many 3-stars as possible. It's like, I'm essentially like playing like way too greedy right now. And now that I'm at 36 life instead of 63, it's a little scarier. And I'm going to do something a little weird right now. So like, look at this. I end up selling the Gangplanks. But because we're so close on both Malphite and YUUMI, I'm going to decide to actually roll past 50 here, like during the slow roll, because like saving even just like a little bit of life, it's going to go a pretty long way. So as long as I roll down and hit the YUUMI 3 or the Malphite 3, it's going to be like pretty much worth it. We do end up hitting the YUUMI, which is of course the better one. And does this help us win this fight? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we would have won anyways. But just saving the extra life, I feel, is when you're that close to hitting everything, it's okay to do it before the neutral rounds. Like, we end up losing, what, 2 gold now and, like, maybe 1 gold after that. So we lose 3 gold, but we potentially save ourselves, like, 4 to maybe, like, 12 health or something like that. So that's actually a pretty big turn of events, or like maybe we dealt 4 damage more and like potentially saved like 10 damage. So it's like a pretty big swing because gold is not that important later on. It's kind of a judgment call. It's going to change from game to game. You're just going to have to do that like whenever you play. We get a Tome of Traits here, which could be really good. The ones we get were really bad, but it could have been really good. So I guess it's just Mascot or Aegis because we could drop in an Aegis at level 8. But right now, the thing that's most beneficial to us is the Mascot because we don't have an Aegis yet and we're going to stay at 6 for a bit. So it's just Mascot and just play 3 Mascot. Of course, we hit the Echo right after that, but it's okay. We'll pretend we didn't see it. And we don't need to go for Mascot yet. We want to roll down right now, do our all-in. I guess we go for, see what I mean, too many damage items. But luckily, we get a Thieves' Gloves. And because the other guy is going supers, the Draven guy, it's really hard for us to hit supers at the same time, which is very unfortunate, but that's just how the game works. But at least we got YUUMI 3. We're not contested YUUMI, so we got that going for us. Maybe we get Nyla 3. We're pretty close to that. I'm kind of rolling for her mainly, but we end up losing this round, so the game's looking a little scary. But once we get some other 3-stars, we should be back in action. One other thing to note is that I should have rolled down all the way to 0 on stage 5-1. I ended up not doing it, and you guys can see already that it's kind of costing me. But we're at Rel 3 now, and then like we would have had Rel 3 last turn most likely, and maybe even the Nyla 3. So yeah, big mistake there. We lost an extra 10 life for free. Actually, we lost 14 life. We were at 36 before, and potentially we could have hit him pretty hard. So it's like, it's a much bigger swing than just like the 14 HP, because you could potentially hit someone else for harder. So it's just really bad play, but you know, it happens. Now we're facing the Set 2 Samira 2 guy, but we have Giant Slayer, so we're not that afraid of him. Our items are okay. You know, obviously Ionic Spark's a lot better than Static Shiv, but we do have a redemption on her. The Toma Traits was a little troll, but the Thieves Gloves was pretty good. It's a little unfortunate, again, because the Supers guy is preventing us from getting Malphite 3, and the whole point of Thieves Glove and why I like it in this comp is because it gives you a lot of value for your random 3-star units. So I end up item removing it off the Malphite and dropping it on Rel, which kind of sucks, you know, but like Rel is still a solid unit. It's still a 3-star, so you still want to itemize her. We also did level up and dropped in, I believe, a Riven so that we get the Defender and Brawler buff as we normally do. Would you rather have that or the 4 Mascot? I'm pretty sure the Riven gives a better buff because we have a 3-star Rel that we kind of want to give traits to. Titan's Resolve is like the best option here. Sunfire Cape is also decent, and then the Protector's Vow is also really good. Which one is the best? It's really tough to say. I love Titan's Resolve on 3-star units. I guess I should clarify 3-star melee units because you're always going to get to 25 stacks, almost always at least. So it just has to be the best item. If not, the item would just suck. But sometimes the game isn't balanced and sometimes items do suck. But Sunfire Cape, very takeable, and Protector's Vow, you guys know how much I love it as a 3rd tank item. The only weird part about this game is that I don't really have 3 tank items on my Nyla because I have the Static Shiv. I think the golden ratio for like econ augments though is just, you just need one of them. Like a gold augment or a silver augment is good enough for this build. And then you can pretty much hit whatever you want here. Let's say we did not have the trade sector. Maybe we would have like, well, this game's a little hard to judge because we didn't get the supers. Normally you have all the supers 3-starred, but let's say we were uncontested with the supers, but we had no trade sector. Our team would probably have like 3-3-stars like we have here anyways. With the econ augment and being uncontested, a gold econ augment at that, we'd probably have like our full team 3-starred like we had in the first game. But let's just say there's some wild scenario where we are contested and we get no econ augments. Well, it's not the end of the world. Also, it's just Sunfire Cape here. We just need a utility item. It's not the end of the world because we'd probably only have 1 3-starred unit. Maybe it's even a bad one, such as like the Rel, for example. And then we're stuck with 2-star YUUMI, 2-star Nyla. Well, you do get the combat augment, right? So you should still end up being like, okay, you know, I'm not saying it's a dream scenario, but you don't always have to win every game because if you get bad augments and you're contested, you're not going to do well with any comp that you play. So if you get a 5th or something or a 6th in those games, it's perfectly fine because in the games where you do get decent augments, you like are uncontested or something like that, you'll get those first place with this comp. And so it kind of makes up for like the potential 6 that you can get. So it's definitely well worth it to play like this. The scary part about this build is that I'm not even good with YUUMI. I sucked with YUUMI when she was good before. And I played this version, the Star Guardian version, maybe like once before this. I don't remember. Maybe I played it twice, but it's never been like my specialty comp, you know? And that's what makes it so scary because imagine if I did know what I was doing. Imagine if I did know whether Titan's Resolve, Sunfire Cape, or Protector's Vow were the best items on Nyla. Imagine if I did know that. Like this comp becomes even stronger than it currently is, which is a little scary in my opinion. Like maybe they nerf this, maybe they don't. Who really knows? I guess it doesn't matter that much because like it's always like a pocket pick type of comp. But oh yeah, full disclosure. I'm not saying to play this comp every single game because definitely don't do that. Only play this comp when you get the right starts for it. So this game we had Predatory Precision and like decent items for it. Last game we had an econ augment and then we got the YUUMIs eventually. We never got the econ augment and then we're like, oh, let's just force YUUMI. We were playing other stuff first. But since we got some YUUMIs and the econ augment, we leaned into that. So always lean into builds. Don't just do something automatically just because I make a video on it, you know, because that's just not how you're supposed to play TFT. You're supposed to see what you get, like see what cards are dealt to you, and then try to maximize it. But yeah, the 2 freest firsts of my life, all thanks to YUUMI. And I just found it so stupid because it literally pushed me into the top 100. And I don't even play the comp. I don't know anything about positioning. I don't know anything about like which items are absolutely the best or slightly better than others in like XYZ scenario, but good enough, you know? But thanks so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video.